This day of the week ends in a Y. And that means there's someone out there looking for more Instagram followers, and that's probably why you came across this video. If you guys are new to the channel, we talk about visibility and revenue all the time. And in this video, we'll be talking about 5 different ways you can get more followers on Instagram. So definitely do make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this. We're going to get right into it because with Instagram, there's such a big demand for the platform. There's a lot of engagement. Businesses are using it to grow, and that leaves a lot of business owners wondering, hey, how can I grow my audience on Instagram? So the first thing we're going to jump into right away is going to be one of the most valuable ways to grow on Instagram, which is to collaborate with other Instagram influencers. And through collaborate, there's a lot of different ways you could do that. You could do that through a video where you do a video that appears on that person's Instagram account. The other person does a video that appears on your Instagram account, and each of you tag each other and grow your followers. You could also do shout out exchanges. You can promote each other in your stories. But the idea is that through a collaboration, you are actively working together to cross promote each other to your audiences. You do this with enough influencers and you are going to grow a lot. This is also a strategy to really grow anywhere online. And I've seen a lot of success with this on YouTube, but on Instagram, it's so much easier because you literally just need a picture instead of like a 5 to 10 minute YouTube video. Although you can go the video route using IGTV as well, which I did talk about in another video on this channel. So when you are looking for people to collaborate with and you find someone who is a good fit, start by liking their content, commenting on their content so they see you as an active presence. Because Instagrammers get a lot of emails from all these different people, and you're going to blend in if you do a cold outreach email. But if you are liking their content, engaging with them, and then you ask for a collaboration, they're more likely to say yes. You also want to start with Instagram influencers who have a similar size audience as you. So if you have a few hundred people who follow you, don't start with the people who have thousands of followers. Find the other people who also have a few hundred followers in your space and start collaborating with those people. And you keep collaborating with more people, that's going to put you in a better position to collaborate with influencers who do have thousands of followers. The second way to grow on Instagram is to post at least once a day. Now, you may be wondering, how do I find enough content to post on Instagram? Collaborations is going to help you big time because that's based on how many people you collaborate with. If you reach out to 100 people each week and you get 10 of them to say yes, that's going to give you daily content, but you don't just want to have other people's content on your Instagram. Like, you want to have your stuff as well. So that's where you know, going on your phone, like looking at past pictures, that's great and that works. But let's say you go through your phone, you're like, I don't want to use this picture, or I've used this picture already. In that case, one of the ways you can continue to create Instagram content is by using Canva to create the pictures for you. So one of the things that's worked really well for my audience is creating Instagram carousels where I stack a few pictures together and people can scroll through. So it's kind of like an infographic, but in Instagram form. And instead of one really long image, it's a few images where people can scroll to see all of the images that create the full picture. So it's like a blog post outline or a video outline. I sometimes take video outlines of videos like this and later on turn them into Instagram carousels. So you may want to follow me on Instagram for a summary of some of the videos I've covered here on the channel. And that perfectly transitions into the third way to get more Instagram followers, which is to use your other social networks to grow on Instagram. One of the big mistakes people make is they are a little active on this social network, a little active on this social network, but they're like their own separate islands. They don't really connect with each other. Sure, they bring traction to your business and people can click on the link in your bio to go to your website. But other than that, most people don't connect their social media platforms together. So I like to create bridges for all my social networks. That means one of my Instagram followers should easily be able to see the content I'm posting on my YouTube and on my podcast. On the YouTube channel, I make it very clear to people that they can follow me on Instagram. I clearly show my username at the top left of my future videos. And it's just one of those things where if you have the proper bridges, it's easier, where if you really thrive on one social network, you can get some of that residual traffic to your other social networks. And all of that residual traffic is going to send signals to each of the algorithms of each of the social networks you're on to give your content a little bit of an extra boost. So if you're wondering how some person becomes successful on one social network and all of a sudden they're super successful on like every single social network they're on, you definitely saw this with a lot of people who were successful with Vine back when Vine was a thing. And you saw a lot of Vine stars all of a sudden become successful on like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and every other social network. That's because you build bridges so that it's easy for someone on YouTube to go to your Instagram, or someone from Twitter to go to your Instagram, or someone from Facebook to go to your Instagram. And by doing that, it's easier to use your existing social platforms to build each other up in a rising tide rises all ships type of a social media strategy. The fourth way to get more Instagram followers that not a lot of people are utilizing is to tag people in your Instagram stories. So one of the things people love to do is share someone's content when it's like, you know, oh, like this person's wonderful. Like if someone says, oh, wow, like you're wonderful, or like your business is like, I'm a loyal customer, I love what you're doing, or like you've helped me achieve this result, like a client testimonial, you're going to want to share that with people. And it's why businesses gather testimonials, for that social proof. And you create the same effect on Instagram by tagging other influencers. So if you listen to a podcast that you really enjoy, take a screenshot of that podcast, say that, you know, I love this podcast and I recently listened to this episode, and tag the influencer of that podcast, because they will get notified that you tag them in your story. They will go check that out. They'll be like, oh, wow, this person really likes my podcast. Let me put this in my story, tagging that person, and share that with my followers. So if you do this enough times, you are going to get maybe like really big time people with like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers to repost your message in their Instagram story. And you're talking about exposure to thousands of extra people. And if you combine this with regularly posting in your own Instagram story, like if you do 5 Instagram stories each day, and one of those 5 is like you're giving someone else praise, you're going to get a lot of people to tag you in their Instagram stories to their big accounts. And even if you only have a few hundred followers, I mean, you can very realistically get tagged by someone who has thousands of Instagram followers, tens of thousands, even 100,000 followers. You get in their story very realistically by posting a story like that on your own profile. And the 5th way to grow on Instagram is to strategically comment. Now, I understand there's a tip out there, like comment on a bunch of people's stuff, but we're going to go a little deeper than that. You want to comment on big accounts, like that's like the main strategy everyone tells you to do. And you want to be top comment, because then you're going to get seen a lot more. So if you know there are a few people who you want to be the top comment on, set a reminder that goes off when that person posts new content. You can set a notification so you're told when that person comes out with new content, so you are one of the first people to leave a comment. And if you're one of the first people to leave a comment, that just gives you a better shot at being comment number 1. Leaving a thoughtful comment instead of like, wow, great post, great message. Thoughtful comment is going to have a better shot at being that top comment. But you don't want to just comment on the big influencers posts. You also want to comment on the micro influencers posts, because they may not have as many followers, like maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers. Like that's not as many compared to someone who has 1 million. But if you comment on these people's posts, the micro influencer is going to see you. So that person is likely to follow you. That person is likely to engage with your comments. And the thing with micro influencers is they may have smaller audiences, but they usually have more loyal audiences because they're able to give their audience like more time and attention. They're able to reply to every comment. That's something you just can't do if you're getting thousands of comments for each thing you're posting. So when you are following this commenting strategy, don't just comment on the big accounts. Look for the micro influencers in your space and comment on a bunch of those people's posts each day. And a lot of this, the key thing is daily consistency. I mean, if you're doing stuff each day on Instagram, you're going to see maybe like 5 new followers a day, and then that's going to turn into 10, that's going to turn into 15, that's going to turn into 20. So the most important thing that a lot of people leave out in these types of videos is you need to have a 6 to 12 month window to really then be able to assess your results, because this is one of those, like, social media is parabolic growth where you put in the work, like the same amount of work as someone who's already made it on Instagram, and you don't see too much traction in the beginning, but then you see a little spark and then you see some really dynamic traction. So when you are applying strategies like stuff in this video, give it like a 6 to 12 month time frame where you're really going to commit, because that's going to be when you are going to see some of those big and incredible results that you're looking to get on Instagram. And if you do like more results that help you gain more visibility and revenue, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one. Smash the like button to help with the algorithm. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.